Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to my session. I'm Joohwan Kim from Samsung Electronics, and Vijayachandra Pabbineedi is helping me for this presentation. He's also going to show a wonderful demo of the Bixby IoT features. So Vijay and I are working on the Bixby and SmartThings integration. Doing the job, I got a lot of questions from the device developers asking how to enable the Bixby to their IoT devices, and what features Bixby actually provided, and how user benefits, what benefits user can get through the Bixby and SmartThings. Today, I'm going to try to answer these questions. Before we get into the details, let me more talk about SmartThings and Bixby. Samsung has two major services, SmartThings and Bixby. If you look at this figure, your left-hand side, there's a SmartThings. In your right-hand side, there's Bixby. SmartThings covers IoT, and Bixby covers intelligence. That's a very simple answer to the relationship of both. So if you see the left-hand side, there's a SmartThings cloud, and there are IoT devices connected to the SmartThings in very different ways. Some devices are connected through third-party cloud, through the cloud-to-cloud connection. Some devices are connected through the SmartThings hub, devices like Zigbee, GAF, or some LAN-connected devices. Also, there are some devices that are directly connected to the SmartThings cloud. I know that previous session, SmartThings session covered how to connect this device in a very different ways. And we also have a very nice SmartThings exhibition booth out there and code lab. So you can see how these devices are working with SmartThings cloud, and also you can try it for your own devices. So if you miss it, and don't forget it before this SEC ends. So using these connected devices, user can control the devices and check the device status to see what's going on in their home. But not only just controlling the device directly on the phone, they can use the device more smartly and efficiently. User can create automations on the SmartThings app so that he can create a rule like if motion detected in the living room, then turn on the light in the living room. You can create that in the SmartThings app. Then SmartThings Cloud remember that automation rule and turn on the light when the motion is detected. Now let's talk about more on the Bixby in your right-hand side. There's a Bixby. Inside Bixby, there's Bixby capsules. And there are Bixby Assistant installed in Galaxy smartphone. So user can speak any utterance to Bixby Assistant. Then these utterance go to Bixby, and Bixby handle the utterance using capsule. Now let me think about what's the capsule. Capsule is the set of program that the service provider develops and provided to Bixby. So in this example, I provide two capsules, SmartThings one that we made, and one example, weather capsule, then some of the weather service provider already made. So think about, there are so many capsules in the Bixby, but let me just think about how this capsule works using weather capsule. If someone says, show me the weather today or tomorrow or weekly, then that utterance goes to Bixby, and Bixby understands this is about the weather, so that which capsule handles this utterance best. So Bixby triggers the weather capsule and gives the utterance, hey, weather capsule, you can handle it best, so please handle that. Then weather capsule will see what's the weather today or tomorrow or week in this weekend, and get those information from its own cloud server and return the result, weather forecast result, back to the user through Bixby Assistant. So this is the weather case, but SmartThings case is a little bit different. Almost same. If someone said turn on the light, then this occurrence goes to Bixby, and Bixby figures out this SmartThings occurrence about controlling IoT devices. And there's SmartThings capsule. So at that point, Bixby knows what devices and what features these devices have for the user. Using that information, SmartThings capsule find what device and what feature to control and how to control, and send the command to the target device through the SmartThings platform. And device is on, then the result is going back to the user through SmartThings capsule and the Bixby assistant. Clear, right? So in these examples, I only show the mobile phone as a Bixby assistant, but it's not restricted to that. So basically, some of the IoT devices connected to SmartThings can also work as Bixby assistant. Meaning is, Galaxy Home speaker, you can see in the middle of your left-hand side, is also IoT speaker working as, work with the SmartThings. But also, user can speak to that Galaxy Home speaker to control other devices or ask weathers. We are expanding this Bixby assistance to other Samsung IoT devices so that TV gonna work as Bixby assistants and refrigerator too, and there will be more Samsung IoT devices that can hear user's voice. So user doesn't need to find the phone. You just any nearby Bixby assistant and speak anything, then Bixby will handle that. So let's get back to the original questions. What should the developer do to support Bixby? And what's the requirements? And what's the restriction? So I think this figure already answered those questions. The first requirement is that these IoT devices should be connected to the SmartThings platform. So all the IoT devices working with SmartThings are eligible to work with Bixby. It doesn't matter whatever the connection type it is. So if you are developing the C2C device, or if you're developing the GPG-Wave devices, or your devices are directly connected to the SmartThings, all gonna work with Bixby. Why? Because once your devices are connected to the SmartThings platform, that integration means that your devices are working with SmartThings capability, which is a standard capability to understand, control, and monitor the device features. Let me put it simple. Suppose you are a light device maker. Light typically has the functionality of on and off and change the brightness. Some light, it can change colors. The protocol to control, the backend protocol to control these devices are all different by manufacturers. Even for the same manufacturer, the protocols could be different by models. But SmartThings provide this standard capability, switch capability for on and off, switch level capability for brightness adjustment, and the color control capability for light color. So regardless of whatever the manufacturer it is, or protocol, SmartThings user can control these devices from their app, regardless of its manufacturer or protocol. So once your devices are integrated with SmartThings and work fully with SmartThings capability, your devices are fully working on the SmartThings app and platform. Then what next the developer should do to support Bixby to their devices? So answer is simple. Answer is simple. Nothing. We don't request nothing from the device developers to do further development for the Bixby. That means once your devices are integrated to the SmartThings platform, then Bixby natively understands the all the SmartThings capabilities and prepare the turns that can work with those capabilities. So once your device got certified by Work with SmartThings program and in the market, user buy it and connect that device to the SmartThings app. Immediately at that time, user can speak any nearby Bixby assistants to control the devices. That means there will be no additional efforts or costs needed from the developer to support Bixby. So once IoT devices are working with SmartThings, also work with Bixby, what Bixby provides added features for the users. The basic two features are device control and device monitor, which is quite common for all voice platforms. So you can ask Bixby assistants to control that device, like turning on the light in the living room, or you can ask the device status to see what's going on in your home, right? Is the front door open or what's the current room temperature? Besides these features, we also provide more advanced ones, like scheduling and location-based automation and the mode execution. So we also already provide this automation in the app, but sometimes you just feel difficulty from it. So you can set up this automation way easier using by their voice. For example, turning on the light, you can turn on the light at the time you just speak to it. But you just can say, turn on the light at sunset. Or you just can say, turn on the light at 5 p.m. or in 30 minutes. Then Bixby understands its intention and create the automation very easily or automatically using the SmartThings platform. Also, you can use your location. So turn off the light when I leave home, turn off the light when I leave home, then Bixby will make the automation to the SmartThings, and SmartThings platform will turn off the light, seeing whether you leave the home, bringing your mobile presence phone, right? Mode execution. So we already encourage SmartThings user to use mode. So it's kind of tricky that once you got into the sleep, that you have to turn off all the lights in the SmartThings app. So mode execution allows user to collect all these commands into one single button, so-called mode. So you just press the button, mode, then all devices are executed in the same time. But this is even difficult for some users because you have to go to the phone and put the fingerprint or see the face to unlock it and go to the app and find the place to the mode and press the button. Instead of doing that, you can just say, run good morning mode or run good party time mode to any nearby Bixby assistant. Bixby already knows what you created in the SmartThings app, so Bixby will execute it instead of will execute it. So Vijay will present some of the examples of these 5 features. But before we get in there, let's think about how Bixby are working on the SmartThings capabilities. Back to the original example, light. I mentioned that light could have these 3 capabilities for on and off, change the brightness, and to change color. So Bixby see these capabilities of your device and see that, oh, these turns can work with these capabilities. So you just say, like, turn off the light. You will find the device that has a switch capability and change the switch capability attribute to off. Or dim the light, set the dimming light to the level to 25, or make the light dimmer. Then Bixby understands it's about the switch level capability and control the device. Finding the capability and control it. Also, user can change the color. Any color change request comes, Bixby will find the device having the color control capabilities and control that device. But this table doesn't mean that light device type in SmartThings only have these capabilities. Any capability can be set up for the light. So if your device, if your light is portable, then there can be a battery in it. Then there must be battery capability for that device. Then you can ask Bixby what's the battery status of the light. then Bixby will return like 75% are left. So there's no restriction on using the capabilities for each device type. Okay, so please welcome Mr. Vijay to introduce, to show some interesting examples.
Thanks, Joohwan. Hello, everyone. So now I'm going to explain and show some use cases using Bixby features such as device control, device monitoring, scheduling, and location-based automations, and mode execution. So for that, here we have LS Home with some smart devices already configured in it. So like a light in living room, bedroom, and kitchen, and we have a thermostat and TV, and we have a Galaxy Home, which is Bixby-enabled Galaxy Home, and a robot cleaner, and a smart lock in front door, and sprinklers in garden area. So all these are virtual devices which we created using SmartThings developer workspace. And these, even though these are virtual devices, these are exactly same as your real devices. And using these devices, I'm going to show you some use cases. So the similar use cases you can even try in our SmartThings exhibition booth with real devices. And these are the virtual devices which we created in SmartThings developer workspace. And even she grouped these devices as living room devices, bedroom devices, and kitchen devices. And also she created 2 modes and named as good morning and good night, which has a list of devices and actions involved in it. Okay, so with these devices, let's see some use cases. Whenever Alice wakes up, if she wanted to control any device, say for example, start sprinkler.
All right, it's now open.
So Bixby understands here, Alice didn't mention any capability to operate. So Bixby understands by your utterance and it turned on a sprinkler. Okay, similarly, when she comes down to living room and relaxed in a couch, and if she wanted to watch TV, and as I earlier mentioned, there is a Bixby-enabled Galaxy Home device in living room. So she can simply say, turn on TV.
Got it. I turned on TV.
So here I'm using mobile as we don't have a Galaxy Home here, but you can try the same in our exhibition booth, SmartThings exhibition booth. So Bixby understands what action you want to do. So in both the use cases, we have never told Bixby that use this capability to control that device. So similarly, when Alice is going out of home in a hurry, and usually, say for example, she used to forget turn off thermostat, and which uses more power consumption. In such cases, she can simply say, turn off thermostat when I leave home. So Bixby understands that, and it creates an automation to turn off thermostat. So you can see on screen like how it creates an automation in SmartThings app. So here, Alice didn't mention anything about use this device to locate my presence at home or not. So Bixby will understand what device to use to know the user's presence. So here it used Alice's mobile phone to know the user's presence, and it created an automation. Let's try, and with that automation, when she goes out, it turns off the thermostat. Let's try some samples on that. Turn off TV when I leave home.
Sure, I've saved the automation you created.
So it creates an automation. Not only based on locations, as Joohwan mentioned, we can even create automations based on time. So we'll try some more examples on that. Turn on light at sunset. Turn on light at sunset.
Which device is the one you want?
So here I have 4 lights in my home. So it is asking you back which device you want to turn on at sunset. So you can choose one device there.
Sure thing. We've saved your automation.
So it created an automation. Similarly, you can even say, turn on TV at 5 p.m.
Done. It's saved.
So it is as simple as that. You don't need to open your app and create some automations. You can simply say whatever you wanted to do. Bixby will understand that it creates automations like that. And not only device control, you can even monitor the current device status. It's like your TV status or any device status. What is your current device status? For that, we'll try that. Check if my door lock is open. So while Alice going out in a hurry, she might have forgot to lock her door. So here it is saying door is unlocked. So she can simply say, lock the door.
Okay, the door lock is now closed.
So it is as simple as that. You can know the current status of your any device and you can even control the device. And not only using device types, you can even name your devices like your pets. Like you can name your TV, you can name your air conditioner, you can name your robot cleaner. So here in this case, Alice named her robot cleaner as Mr. Pennington, and using that name, she is going to control her device. So she is outside and before coming home, she wanted to clean her home. So she can say, start auto cleaning, Mr. Pennington.
Sure thing. Auto cleaning is now turned on.
So it identifies based on name as well. You don't need to even use the device types. You can name as you like to your devices and use those names to control devices. And not only a single device, you can even control a group of devices using Bixby. So here Alice wanted to turn on all the lights at home before entering home. Let's try that. Turn on all the lights.
All set. They are on.
So we have 4 lights at home as I configured earlier. So it turned on all the lights. Not only all the lights, even I mentioned earlier, like she grouped some devices within rooms. Not only device type, maybe you might have different device types in each room. So you can even control based on that room names. So let's use some sample. Turn on lights in kitchen.
I need a capability for car to continue.
Turn on the lights in kitchen. Sorry. Turn on the lights in kitchen.
Got it. I turned on.
So I have only one light in kitchen, so it turned on that. So using all at home or whatever you grouped, using that group names also you can control devices. And mode execution, this is one more important feature. It's very easy to control different types of devices at home. As Joohwan mentioned, like Alice created a mode, two modes here, like good morning and good night. And before going to bed for sleep, if she wanted to make sure all the lights are turned off, TV is turned off, thermostat is turned off, so she can, using that mode, she can simply say, run good morning mode, sorry, good night.
Okay, good morning.
So I have 2 modes here, I'll try that. Run good night mode.
Okay, good night is now on.
So all the lights, TV, thermostat, whatever is configured in that mode will be executed and all are turned off. So this is as simple as that. Like once all the devices are configured in SmartThings app, you don't need to do anything. You can just use Bixby and control and monitor your devices. Now my colleague Joohwan will continue.
Thank you very much for the interesting demo. So I hope you see some of the interesting points from the demo. So back to the original question. Let's talk more about the current status. In the developer workspace, there are 33 different device types you can create. But you also can create some device not in that 33. But Bixby recognizes 23 device types. So we are trying to catching up the gap. And if you're making a device and your device does not in the list of this Bixby coverage, I think you don't need to worry about it. So once your device are fully working with SmartThings and go to market, and then we follow up the coverage device type, then your device in the market will automatically work with the occurrence for these new device types. That means even if we support the new device type, the device developer doesn't need to do any further certification process or additional efforts or costs to support those occurrences. Once devices are fully working with SmartThings, then Bixby improves and the improvement will apply to the device automatically in the market. So currently in the developer workspace, there are 65 capabilities that your device developer can use. Among these 65, we are currently supporting 30 capabilities. So that there are alternatives for these 30 capabilities. And so same here. If you are creating a device from the developer workspace, and some of the capability is not in this list, probably when your device goes to the market, these capability cannot work with voice. But if you're trying to catching up the Bixby support, so once Bixby cover that capability in the future, then your device will automatically work with the new occurrence. There's nothing developers should do for support the new occurrence, and no additional cost efforts for that. So currently, we are supporting these capabilities for the first and the second party devices right now. And they're gonna be update coming end of this year, so that these capabilities can be used by Bixby. These capabilities also work for the Bixby for the third party devices also. So currently, Bixby supports 3 languages. So also SmartThings Bixby supports 3 languages: English, Chinese, Korean. So Bixby has a plan to expand this language coverage to other languages. Once your new language is supported, that language will work on your SmartThings devices also. So let's think about how developer can get information of this Bixby support. So we have the developer workspace where you can find the many valuable information to develop SmartThings devices. So there, we are making the web page for the instruction how to connect your device to SmartThings and test your device on the Bixby, and what's the feature, device types, and capabilities are supported right now, and what occurrence you can test while developing your devices. So please visit our developer workspace and developer portal for the further information about SmartThings device integration. So there's no voice services are perfect. So we know there are many rooms to improve the Bixby support for our IoT devices. So that's why we value your feedback very high, and we really are listening to your feedback. So there is a developer support page in the developer workspace. We are collecting your feedback, so please tell us anything you have in mind. It could be a new occurrence support for the capabilities, or it could be a new feature or new idea that can look very cool in terms of device control using AI. So thank you very much for your attention. So this is all I prepared. So please ask if you have any questions.
Hello, thank you very much for the presentation. I actually have two questions. The first is about creating the automations by voice and touch, which you showed. Can that also be done just by voice, say with the Galaxy Home? Or does it have to be driving the Android app or the SmartThings app?
Okay. So basically, all voices should work all together regardless of voice assistants. So if you speak to the Galaxy Home, then all alternatives should work the same as you are doing in the mobile phone. But there's one exception about the location-based one. So Galaxy Home is designed for the family devices. So if someone says, I'm leaving home, then they will have some difficulty to figure out who is trying to leaving home. So for the location-based services, we are trying to solve that one. But besides that, automation, other automations like sunset, 7 o'clock, in 3 minutes, they are all going to work in Galaxy Home too.
So how will it do the follow-up for when there was ambiguity? Like you showed in the example, it presented a UI to select which light you meant. Like the example was turn on the light at 7. And then it put up a screen saying, which light.
Yeah. So if you say something about automation creation, here's one more. So creation automation, but this information is not sufficient. Like turn on the light at sunset, but there are multiple lights. Or like turn off the thermostats, but there are 2 thermostats. Then it will ask you back which device you want to choose in the follow turns. So you can say it, you can touch it on the app. Yeah, it will work.
Okay.
Am I answering your question?
Actually, you can mention that name again back to that Galaxy Home will tell you the devices what you have at home, and you can again tell.
So it'll read you the list?
Galaxy Home Galaxy Home speaks the possible choices that user can have, so you can speak to Galaxy not instead of touching something.
Okay. Okay, and my other question was, in the example of turn on the TV that you gave, what if you have like 2 Galaxy Homes and 2 TVs in 2 different rooms? Will it be able to like understand that they're together and just be able to say turn on the TV, whichever room you're in, it'll turn on the right TV?
The same, like you have one TV in living room and one in bedroom. So if you simply say turn on TV, it will give you the options. You have 2 TVs, which one to turn on. Or you can directly say turn on TV in living room and you configure that TV in living room. It turns on directly that living room TV.
If you just give more information to Bixby, like turn on the TV in the living room, then it's going to find the target and execute it. But without that information, if there's any ambiguity has to be clear, then Bixby will ask you back.
Hi.
Not working.
In your list of capabilities, are there any visual capabilities?
Could you repeat that? Your mic just...
In your list of capabilities, are there any visual capabilities? So I imagine some smart devices might have cameras. Let's say in your living room or outside your door or inside your fridge. So you can ask, is my grandma watching TV, or who is in front of my front door, or do I have any tomatoes left in the fridge? Are there any visual capabilities like that?
So you mean the vision recognition capability, right? Detecting the human behavior. So it's actually in our roadmap for the elderly care service, but it's still in the roadmap, so yeah. We are working on it, but not in the stage to go public right now.
So I'm not asking necessarily about Bixby integration with those visual capabilities, but just even that larger list that you mentioned for capabilities that may not be supported by Bixby yet. Are there any visual capabilities there?
So if your device is supporting the feature, and if you cannot find that capability from SmartThings, capability reference, you can propose your capability. We open the place anybody can propose the capability. So we're gonna review it, and it's gonna be working with your device, and also the following devices, we're gonna make it standard. So propose it, and we're gonna listen it.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Yeah. Mike.
I can maybe speak without it, if people can hear me, but I'm just trying to figure out what leapfrogging is going on. Oh, thank you. The leapfrogging between Bixby, Google Home, and Alexa. Right? Currently, Alexa can connect to multiple smart home platforms. Just as of the past few months, they've enhanced that, as well as allowing routines and hunches across those platforms concurrently, without them having to be based on the same cloud. And so using Alexa right now, I can control connected light bulbs that are not connected to SmartThings, as well as my SmartThings connected light bulbs, without leaving the Alexa environment. What do you see that position with respect to where Bixby is going?
Yeah, there are different IoT ecosystem around us. And we are working with other IoT ecosystem to work with their IoT device to our SmartThings platform, also our SmartThings IoT device to other IoT ecosystems. So there could be some IoT devices that only work in the Alexa and not in the SmartThings platform. And that's not gonna work right now. But we are trying our best effort to accommodate a lot of devices from different ecosystems also. So once they are getting to our platform, the Bixby will natively work on that. And you seem to have more questions.
Yeah, no, I'm just thinking, right?
Yeah.
Who's taking the faster path? Right? Alexa doesn't require SmartThings to join the Alexa cloud. Instead, Alexa just connects to the SmartThings cloud. Whereas in the current Bixby description that you described, you'd have to take your arbitrary third-party platform, whether it be a Nest, for example, and get Nest into the SmartThings cloud first before Bixby could interact with it.
So as long as the Alexa or like Nest are connected to our SmartThings platform,
You mean the SmartThings cloud?
I mean SmartThings cloud,
Right.
they will be work on the SmartThings capabilities, meaning their capabilities has to be converted to our capabilities so that the features are mutually understandable by each ecosystem. Meaning is in the SmartThings end, Bixby can see the SmartThings capability that's from the other ecosystem, and Bixby immediately understand and how to control these devices. So it's all about accommodating other devices. But once accommodated, Bixby can handle everything.
Thank you.
Yeah, good question. Right. So, no further question? So let me close the presentation. So thank you for your attention. So SmartThings, if your device are integrated to SmartThings, it's gonna work with Bixby. But I didn't mention other voice services here. But we also supporting, so once devices are integrated, it also supports Alexa and Google Home. Meaning is, the supported feature may be different by the voice services, but as long as your devices are connected using the SmartThings capability, each voice service will work its own their coverage. And we try to expand the coverage for each voice service very eagerly. So once we cover some new features in the Alexa, then your device will work on your new Alexa utterance, and nothing to do from the developer's point of view. So I think the SmartThings is the only platform that can work, your device can work with Alexa, Google Home, and Bixby all together. Thank you very much for your attention, and my talk is over. Thank you.